We hear terms like constitution, democracy thrown around a lot, don't we, in debates in the news. But how much do we really, connect with what they mean? Like when you hear that phrase, we the people adopt and approve this constitution, does that actually feel, real to you? Like you were part of it?
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're trying to do in this deep dive, sort of pull back the curtain a bit.
Hmm.
We want to clarify what a constitution really is, who it's actually for, and how it genuinely affects you. And then we'll look at the philosophy, usually democracy, that sits underneath it all. The core idea, really, is thinking of citizens.
Hmm.
That's you, as the principals, the owners maybe,
Yeah.
and the elected officials. They're the agents managing things.
Okay, right. Let's unpack that. So, a constitution, our sources say it's the nation's top legal framework, but they also bring up this really interesting tension straight away. How can something be so foundational, so supreme, but also like flexible enough for today's world?
That's the fascinating part, isn't it? Especially when you compare a modern constitutional republic to, say, an old monarchy. The Constitution is supreme, yeah, no doubt. But, and this is crucial, it's not invincible. It's not like a king whose word is absolute law forever. The ultimate sovereign power, that actually rests with the people, with you.
Yeah.
It's your consent, the people's consent, that gives all governmental authority its legitimacy, even the authority of the Constitution itself.
So it's like a social contract then between the nation and its people, setting up this kind of master-servant thing where the state works for you, the principal, and its powers are limited to stop it getting, tyrannical.
Exactly. That limitation is key. But it does more, too. It sets up how the government runs day to day, tries to ensure some stability, protect your fundamental rights. That's huge. Express a kind of national identity, and maybe most importantly, it builds in ways to adapt and change over time. It has to be a living thing.
Right, that dynamic nature feels critical. It's not like some ancient religious text set in stone. A constitution has to evolve, doesn't it, to keep up with history, culture, the economy, new technology, stuff happening outside the country. Look at the U.S. Constitution, how its meaning has shifted through court decisions, judicial review. That shows it has to be adaptable.
But our sources point out something really insightful here, these flaws of omission. Things left out. Like the U.S. Constitution initially just didn't address slavery. A massive omission, right? And look at the centuries of problems stemming from that.
Right.
Or the Indian Constitution facing difficulties because it didn't fully weave in indigenous ways of governing. So what a constitution doesn't say can sometimes cause just as many issues down the line.
Okay, so the Constitution is the what, the framework. What about the why, the philosophy behind it? And for many modern places, that's democracy, right? From the Greek, demos, people, kratos, power, rule by the people. And that leads to the question, what actually makes this rule by the people work? What are its core features, and maybe what's putting pressure on them today? Of course, there's popular sovereignty. Ultimate authority rests with you, the people. That's foundational. Then political equality. Everyone gets equal political rights. Your voice matters just as much as anyone else's. Rule of law, super important. Nobody's above the law, not even the government. Majority rule, but with minority rights. Decisions go with the majority, sure, but, and this is vital, it protects smaller groups, prevents that tyranny of the majority. Separation of powers, legislature, executive, judiciary stops any one branch getting too much control. Fundamental rights and freedoms, things like free speech, assembly, your basic civil liberties. And finally, accountability and transparency. The government has to answer to you.
Yeah, those are the ideals. But the sources we looked at are pretty clear that democracy is facing some serious headwinds now. Things like intense political polarization, misinformation spreading like wildfire, people just not voting. Apathy. Absolutely. Those are real challenges. But it's so important to remember, democracy isn't just a voting system. It's really a philosophy, one that values human dignity, freedom, equality. It's about making sure people are represented and their rights are protected.
So, wrapping up, it seems like both constitutions and democracies aren't static things. They're designed to be dynamic, to evolve. They give societies a way to adapt, to make progress, even correct their own mistakes, using the power of the people. They're meant to be refined generation by generation.
Precisely. Democracy is never really done. It's an ongoing project, a continuous effort. And for it to actually work, to thrive, it needs you. It needs informed citizens, engaged citizens, responsible citizens, all actively participating. It really comes down to what Lincoln said, doesn't it? Government of the people, by the people, for the people. That takes constant work from everyone.